Well, hello there. So, one thing I like to do on this podcast is occasionally look at movies and TV shows that I wouldn't necessarily review on other websites or, otherwise possibly even watch. And this time we're going to be looking at a movie called Walking After Midnight, which is a piece of 1992 Turkish cinema. I really don't know how well known this movie is. I couldn't find that much information on it, but it's apparently by a respected director, and we're gonna look at some aspects of it, and we're looking at this movie, which was originally titled Düş Gezginleri, directed by the acclaimed Atıf Yılmaz. So I actually have watched a Turkish TV show before on Netflix. So it's not like I have zero experience with Turkish, culture, but it's limited. And this movie was refreshingly good for what it was. Walking After Midnight is a poignant drama, and I probably mispronounced the word poignant because it's a weird word. But anyway, it captures the intricate lives of two women, one named Nilgun and the other Hava, and they reconnect after years apart. They originally knew each other as children. The film's cast features Meryl Oguz as Nilgun, Leo Mansur as Hava, and Yaman Okay as Nafiz. Yes, that is his name, Yaman Okay. It sounds like, sort of a bad Western joke, but Yaman Okay is truly his name. I am sorry to dwell on that fact, but it really does sound like I'm making it up as a joke. But anyway, moving on from that, the plot centers around Nilgun, a well educated woman who navigates the often subtly restrictive and, let's face it, patriarchal environment of Turkish society. So, the other show that I've seen that I believe is Turkish called Fatma, and that's on Netflix, but that has similar themes. It's a good show. It's like about somebody who was a cleaner who ended up accidentally becoming a serial killer. It's a weird story, but it has similar themes. And even though I'm gonna use the word feminism here occasionally, this isn't the type of movie that really beats you over the head with messaging. It's actually not as overly politicized as some of these movies might be accused of being. And I think the message still gets across. It's not totally subtle either. There's enough messaging that you're going to know what they're trying to convey, but it's also story driven. So you might care about the characters as you watch. But anyway, she reunites, or let's see, what's her name again? Nilgun reunites with her childhood friend Hava, who now works in a brothel as a sex worker, or if you want, you could refer to it as a prostitute. I understand the more modern term is sex worker, but brothel worker, whatever you want to call it. But together they navigate their oppressive surroundings, seeking personal freedom and self expression. Basically, they become romantically engaged. So, yes, there is some lesbian sex in this movie. So, if that's something you don't want to see, then you're not going to like this movie. But if you're gonna if you're gonna be that way, then you probably it'd be weird if you stumbled into this kind of movie to begin with, right? So, uh, more than that, I mean, yes, there's some titillating nudity for the people out there, but it's also a melancholic, reflective movie in many ways. So it's not. It's there is some sexiness to the movie, but it's not like it doesn't come across as pornographic. At least it didn't when I watched it. And as far as the themes of Walking After Midnight, what makes it a compelling film, I think at its core, the film explores, some of the basic concepts of women struggling in society. It delves into the societal and personal struggles faced by some women in Turkey, portraying their fight for, being able to be socially independent and having self identity in a male dominated society. There's some aspects of friendship and solidarity as well. The bond between Nilgun and Hava highlights the importance of solidarity between women facing similar adversities. So I don't really remember all of the plot details of this movie, but there was some cultural and societal critiques that you could probably find. There are some traditional conservative aspects of Turkish society, particularly gender roles and expectations. And, at the same time, I think this movie at times has an uplifting and hopeful tone, which kind of, makes the mood a little bit more complex. And the director, Atıf Yılmaz, is apparently a prominent figure in Turkish cinema, known for his sensitive and nuanced portrayal of social issues, especially those concerning women. So, in Walking After Midnight, the direction shines through in some key ways. I think it has a realistic narrative, and it adopts a realistic style, focusing on the day to day lives and struggles of the characters. I think it's pretty well. The story's pretty well done. It's realistic. It's plausible. Seems like something that could happen. There's some emotional depth to the movie. Yilmaz employs some deep emotional storytelling, bringing out the inner lives and turmoil of the characters. There's some symbolism and imagery involved, and it helps underline the themes, adding layers of meaning to the visual narrative. So the performances by the actors are particularly good for the characters, and I think really at the core, that's what's necessary for a story like this to really shine. You need adequate performances, otherwise it's probably going to seem too much like a soap opera or something. But not that all soap operas are bad necessarily, but I mean like a stereotypical soap opera. I'll just put it that way. But the depth and authenticity is there in the characters, which is not something you could say about all movies, of course. So I'm not sure how much critical acclaim this movie received, but I would assume that it received some. It definitely had a empathetic portrayal of the women's lives, and yeah, I would definitely recommend you check it out. I don't really have much more to say about it. I probably haven't been specific enough about the plot, like what actually happens in the movie, but I think I've said enough that you get an idea of what's in store. So go ahead and check this movie out.